Beatrice is here and welcome to this picture book video. Today I will chat about picture books and one of my favorite ones. And grab yourself a cup of tea or coffee or any warm drink. Like this video. Let me know if you want to see more books because I have much more. It's just a fraction of it. First illustrator I want to share is Sarda. It's actually my favorite illustrator since I thought I will do more illustrations and less fine art, and it was in 2017 when I discovered her work. And I have currently 3 books of her. This is Myriam Frankenstein. I also have the Liszts and the Wolf's Secret book as well. I think I will chat just about this book, but I think you will get a sense of her style and what her illustrations are. But I really love how she illustrates the books and her characters. They have like a lot of patterns and I like their expressions. It actually, some of the books, they feel more like for adults. And she even illustrated her own picture books after some time. And yeah, she's just really talented. Even though my style is quite different from hers, I still have huge admiration of her work and what she's doing and how she illustrates different scenes. I like her spot illustrations and full-on as well. And I like how all these patterns kind of work together really, really well. I think I fell in love with patterns in illustrations because of her. And like, look, this is such a gorgeous scene. I also feel her work is quite dynamic. And you can see the movement in her hair, in the trees, the horses are moving. It's such a beautiful book, and if you like her work, you will definitely enjoy any of her books, to be honest. I want to share a little bit of the Wolf's Secret book as well. I think it reminds me a little bit of folk tales and medieval art, and that is something I have kind of recently fell in love with, so it's really nice to see how she kind of adds the margins and adds separate story in between. There is one gorgeous spread of a wolf running through the trees. I like how the wolf is black and then against it is these birch trees, and it creates like this gorgeous pattern. I want to share with you this book as well. And I discovered this artist in Bologna Children's Book Fair, which is kind of big book fair happening. I think it's the biggest in the world. It's happening in Bologna, Italy. And I got this book last year. And I really love this character. This is French Bulldog, by the way. And it's just like, I really like how the illustrator captured the likeliness and the silliness of this dog. I actually met the illustrator there and she did little drawing for me. But how monotone and monochrome this book is, but how effective it is. And these silly expressions, I love this a lot. It makes me want to have a French Bulldog in my life. And even though it's written, I think, in Italian, so I don't know what it says, it's quite easy to follow the book. And yeah, it's just perfect. The next book I want to share is by Monika Vaicenavičiene, I think. That's how I should pronounce it. It's a Lithuanian artist and illustrator, and I bought this book in Latvia. It's actually translated in Latvian, and the translation of this is "What is river?" and it's kind of like explanation about different kind of rivers and how we can see this one thing in different perspectives, so to say. I really like... sorry, it doesn't fit in the frame, by the way. It's such a huge book. There is grandmother and grandchild, and they are having like adventure near the river. And the grandmother is explaining that river is so many different things. Like river is adventure, river is energy, river is life, and what is in the river. Some animals call it home, and I just love how she combined kind of spot illustrations more with landscapes, and how it kind of goes together with different sketchier part of her work. I like the medium she uses as well, and like border with like little tree sketches. I think it's really creative way how she approached this book. The next book I want to share is Home by illustrator Carson Ellis. I love Carson's work. I think she's a brilliant illustrator, and it reminds me more of like folk art. She has illustrated both picture books and also fiction books. Like her husband is a writer and musician, and he has written some books, and she illustrated them as well. But I only have this book to show you. I don't have any other book of hers, but I would love to get more because I think her art is just really beautiful. Sometimes it feels super simple, but all the color combinations and composition is beautiful. And the movement of a picture, I like the chimney as well here. This is a book about the home, and where different people like call it home. So it's like a home for different people. Some people live in flats, some people live in houses, so some people are living in boats or wigwams. And I really like this book and how much information is in there and how fun it looks as well. Like, and these little silly things you can see, like, I don't know, someone chasing a bird, or it almost reminds me of Hugo Bosch. I think it's his work. He was medieval artist, and he did like a lot of huge scenes with a lot of details, and different characters did something, and I think it's kind of reminding it a little bit, but of course this is different. I want to chat a little bit about Beatrice Alemagna, and I think if you haven't looked at her work, you should definitely look her up. I think she changed my thoughts regarding to neon colors. I don't like neon colors. Like, I love muted and moody and earthy tones the best, and especially warmer tones like all the browns and brass tones and olives. And she's using all these musty muted colors, but then she used one super fluorescent pink color, and it works with her style and illustrations. And I just want to share it a little bit more. I think her characters have a lot of personality, and it's just so attractive for me to see these illustrations, and definitely like immediately recognize the main character. I like that this is like more muted than she has like this neon coat, and that's like the first thing we notice. It's the brightest thing over here. She kind of stands out. I like this spread a lot. I really like birds' views in different artworks, and this is just really pleasant for me to look. And all the patterns and windows and the trees, and then this little girl walking, and you can kind of follow her journey from here to there. So I have another book of hers, and I got this in Bologna also last year, and it's also with this bright tone, but I just really liked this silly character. And although this book, I think it's in Italian, or maybe I think it's in Italian. I don't know the language, I am one of those people who can buy book in different language if I like the artwork. I know it's quite strange. Like, usually like people say like for picture books, a lot of people buy them for their children. And then there's some portion of people who buy them for themselves, like as an adult. And that is me. But I think I'm even deeper in this category because I can buy books in different language if I like the artwork, which is so funny. Let me know if you are like that as well or not. This is just really silly character. I really like how loose her style is. It looks like so simple, but at the same time super complicated. And I think she knows exactly how to make the contrast, how to make the character to stand out and make the character more interesting. I think it's just something I don't do in my art, but I love to observe it and how different artists do it. Her character expressions, like you can immediately see that this is just crying their heart out and they don't want to go. Probably this is school, I suppose, and this one is just really happy to be there. So it's really interesting how you can notice these emotions even though you don't know the text, even though you don't know the story fully. You can kind of follow the illustrations and make your own story that way. Okay, another artist I want to chat about is Isabelle Arsenault. I really want to share this book of hers. This is graphic novel, and it's written by Franny Britt. I also have another picture book of hers, but I think I want to focus attention to this one. I initially bought this because I just really resonated with the story. It's basically about a girl who is getting bullied by different classmates, and it's her way to coping with it and just sharing her day-to-day life and her thoughts. And it's kind of like a comic book, and I really like the artwork. I think black and white suits this book a lot, and you can really feel the emotions and what she's going through. And then there are some spreads of this book where it's with color, and it's she reading Jane Eyre book. And I think books is her way of escaping the world and kind of not thinking about her day-to-day life at school. And yeah, it's just a really beautifully drawn story. And I love the artworks. I love that it's not like, it looks like almost black and white, but there are some beige colors rather than just kind of, it's more warmer gray rather than mid-gray. This is another book I got in Bologna Children's Book Fair, and I think it's also in Italian, if I remember correctly. Yes, it is. So I don't know what is the story all about. I just love the artworks, and I think she has done a lot of beautiful night scenes and the contrast in between indoors and outdoors. I also really like this one. I think it's such an expressive artwork. And her style is really gentle but sketchy at the same time. It's really hard to explain it. I think it's really artistic. Yes. And to be honest, I don't know what kind of technique she's using. I think she's using both digital and traditional art in her work and kind of combining the two, because there are a lot of textures, but I think there are some digital textures as well. I guess, this is another book I have in different language. It's so funny. I have so many books in different languages, but this is pretty simple. It's really easy to understand this book. And I love this artist's work. It's completely different than my work, but I love how smart he was with composition of this book in general. I think it's called You Cannot Pass or You Shall Not Pass. And it's basically, there is like a guard who is guarding this part and no one cannot pass this line of a border. And it's such a funny thing. I just love the concept of this book and the message. And yeah, the fact that there are a lot of negative space and it just slowly kind of fills with more people and no one can pass, and there's like astronaut and I don't know, some random things happening and people dancing and just walking, and there's just this funny dog, and I think it's such a funny thing. And there are two boys playing a ball, and then the ball just kind of drops to the other side, and then kind of they cross it. I will also show you this Gemma Koomen book, or Gemma. I think it's Gemma Koomen. I'm not the best at pronouncing names. This is The Three Keepers, and I love her characters. I like how she draws them, and the color palette is just gorgeous. I think because I'm doing a lot of artworks myself with these muted colors, I'm really attracted to all the muted colors in others artists' work. and her palette is just gorgeous. It's full with warm tones. I like that there are a lot of browns and then the blue is kind of complementing it. Okay, last but not least, I'm presenting Rebecca's green book, How to Make Friends with a Ghost. I got this book because I just love Rebecca's green work. I got it on eBay. I actually buy a lot of books on eBay as used books. They're much cheaper than going to bookstores, and I'm kind of reusing books that someone else maybe didn't want to have in their collection. I really like the color palette she uses for this book. I think it's pretty simple. They're just black and white and grays, and then there is red, kind of pinkish tone, and orange. I think that's everything color-wise. And I think limited color palettes work really, really well in picture books. I think you can just distinctly tell that this is one story. And I think she even mentioned it in her blog that every picture book she makes, there is different kind of color palette. And I'm kind of in the same boat. I enjoy working on restricted color palette for one book. And then it looks more cohesive story-wise. I am currently working on Bird book, and probably some of you have heard about it. I have talked about on Patreon about it a lot, little bit over here as well. And next video I will chat about it a little bit more in detail. Thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you did enjoy it, please leave it a thumbs up. Also, if you want to let me know that you stayed till the end, write in the comments down below picture books, so I know you stayed till the end. And I also want to say thank you everyone who has ordered from my store recently. I'm so grateful. I have packed all the parcels, but if you want to check my store, I will link it down below as well. And thank you to my lovely Patreons for allowing me to work on my picture book, which I am currently doing. I am really, really grateful. Thank you so much. Okay, I will see you super soon. Bye! Bye everyone! Bye!